Okay, hello everybody. This is Dr. Jesse Brown. I'm a naturopathic doctor here in Detroit, Michigan, director of Detroit Holistic Center and Holistic Training Institute since 1987 and 1999. The name of my presentation today is 10 Top Weight Loss Tips. So I'm going to give you some holistic information on what I found to be the top 10 weight loss tips that you need to know whether you want to lose 10 pounds or more. Okay. And this comes from over 30 years of working with over 60,000 people through Detroit Holistic Center and conducting trainings, etc. So I also like to call this use it and lose it. Why do I call it use it and lose it? Because if you remember these three simple principles, in regards to what your body does with food, then you'll have it. You may have it for a lifetime. So really easy to remember. Use it, USE, is an acronym standing for use, store, and eliminate. Okay? So the principles are this. Your body's only going to do one of three things with anything that goes in your body. It's going to use it for healing, energy, and repair. It's going to store it for later, for a short time, or for a very long time, perhaps forever. Or it's going to eliminate it. Okay. And in effective weight loss, you want your body to utilize as efficiently as possible, store only as much as it's going to need for reserve, and then eliminate the rest. Okay. So our 10 top weight loss tips are going to be based on those principles and the understanding of that. And again, if you carry this with you throughout life, then you will be farther along than most people. Okay. So top tip number one has to do with faith. Yes. It has to do with faith. It's not just what you're eating, it's what's eating you. If you don't have the faith that you can lose the weight that you want to lose, then chances are you're not going to do it. You're either going to self-sabotage or you're going to be around people who are going to sabotage your efforts. So you need to have faith. And you can build that faith by envisioning yourself at your ideal weight. Perhaps you have a picture of yourself when you are at the weight that you want to be at. Or if you don't, you might even use a model's picture. Some people do that with their vision boards and such, is they'll get another person's body and they'll put it on there and they'll say, this is what I want my body to look like. If you were going to build a house, if you were going to design or construct anything, first of all, you'd start with a vision of what you have, and then you would continue to work towards that. And that keeps you on goal. That keeps you on plan, on purpose, and driving towards that. Because if you don't stop until you reach that goal, there's a great chance that you are going to reach it. Okay. So first is faith. And then we have to also balance out and work with all that negative information that goes on in our head. That comes from statistics. It comes from what other people think, say, and do. It says, oh, you're getting older, so you can't lose weight. Oh, you're whatever, you're people in our family or something are, of this particular size. And the same thing goes on with diseases, but of course, we're talking about weight in this case. So we have a lot of negative, a lot of statistics, a lot of information people can give you, all kinds of proof on why you can't get back to high school skinny if that's what you want to get to. You can't get to a particular goal. Well, how we balance that out is envisioning, getting supportive groups of people around us, and especially people who have already accomplished it before. Coaching is very important too in terms of helping us with our faith, especially if we have a difficult time starting and staying on track. Secondly is fluids. Now, fluids, what we drink. So a lot of times when people looking at dietary plans and programs, sometimes there's a liquid diet, but other times it's where you can drink, you get X amount of fluids along with what you eat. Your fluids and your foods are both equally important. In fact, it's sometimes your fluids are more important than your foods. And I say that because oftentimes we are thirsty and we eat. And if we mistake thirst for hunger and we keep on eating when we're really thirsty, when the body really just needs some water, just needs some fluid, is dehydrated or underhydrated, then we're going to have some problems. That's where a lot of the excess calories or stuff comes in. When it comes to that USE acronym, your body utilizes water, and that's the first nutrient that we need. When the body utilizes water, it does that very efficiently. Your body tends to take in the water that it needs and get rid of the rest, but while storing relatively little. Okay, just enough with the body, the tissues and organs and everything need for the time or need to cleanse and do their thing. So drinking water. Water is the number one most abundant substance on the earth. Number one substance in your body as well. There are all kinds of disorders and all kinds of problems that we'll have if we don't get enough water. Most people are underhydrated or dehydrated. That's why when you go to the hospital, they typically will know, almost no matter what the condition is, hook you up to an IV because your body's probably lacking fluids. And most people kind of come around and feel much better and respond better to treatment when they're hydrated. So the rule of thumb is approximately half your body weight in ounces of water. So if a person's 160 pounds, then they divide that in half, and that's 80. And so they're going to drink about 80 ounces of water a day throughout the day, not all at one time, not in big gulps, not in large amounts at one time, but throughout the day. And we want to do the things that our mama said don't do. Don't drink before dinner. Don't drink before you have a meal. It's going to spoil your appetite. Well, we want to spoil our appetite if we don't want to gain weight. So you drink some water, you drink some more water, perhaps even while you're preparing your meal, you drink some water, and that tends to naturally curb your appetite. That tends to naturally curb that hunger and make you a bit more full so that you can't eat as much. So we're dealing with two things: eating when we're not really hungry, when we're thirsty, and eating more substance than what we need. Okay, so that our body is not able to just get the amount of food that we're going to utilize, that we're going to use for the trip, that we're going to use for healing, energy, repair, replacement, conducting our daily activities. We tend to get too much, and those pounds come on just by ounces. The ounces become pounds, the pounds become, build up, and before we know it, we say, where did all this weight come from? It comes over time, just in increments. Okay, so fluids, get your water, about half your body weight in ounces. I prefer, and I do recommend, alkaline water. I recommend the purest form of water that you can get without chlorine, fluorine, and the chemicals, etc. And water that tends to be more alkaline than acidic, because that provides some balance there that perhaps we'll talk about in another session. Let's see, and of course, if you're working outside, if you're perspiring excessively, then your body has an even greater demand for water. But get the water in and get it in gradually over time, so that you're not running to the restroom all the time as well. And of course, this is in respect to the type of work that you do, the type of schedule that you have, and you generally want to stop drinking the water, significant amounts of water before about 2 hours or so before bedtime as well. Now, the next would be foods. We hear a lot of today about what we call plant-based diets. What is a plant-based diet? That is, if it comes from a plant, eat it. If it's processed in a plant, avoid it. Today's standard American diet tends to be very high in terms of processed foods, things that come from a box, things come from a can, things that have a long shelf life. And I say this, a long time on the shelf is a long time in yourself. A long time on the shelf, a high or long shelf life would tend to be things that can hold in your body for a long period of time. Think about this, an apple, orange, a peach, a pear, a tomato, a carrot, celery, etc. If you set those out, you can only put them out for so long. They're not going to be there for weeks or months, but we have foods that we eat on a daily basis that if you look on the side of the box, the expiration date will be a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. Now, how is it that you can take a live food and have it on the shelf for years and it still be okay for us, fit for human consumption? So in terms of foods, a plant-based diet means it's coming from a plant, it's fresh, it's ideally live, and it will provide the nutrients that we need. They'll tend to be high water content foods. That means water and foods that you could put through a juicer, you could blend up and still eat, and your body can break it down much better as well. So that means the plant-based diet, your body's going to be high in utilization. Okay, it's going to be high in the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, etc. that your body needs. It's going to store less. When it's in a whole or complete form, it tends to have the fiber along with it that your body needs to eliminate the residue. Okay? Get it get things out of storage and get it out of your body as well. So plant-based diet. Now there are many books and videos and things on what a plant-based diet consists of and how that'll benefit you. But a plant-based diet would be key to reversing heart disease, diabetes, getting down to your ideal weight, and a number of conditions, as well as just providing much better balance for your body, because that's what was originally intended when we were in the Garden of Eden, not where we are today, the Garden of Eden. Okay. It's also good for improving your energy and stamina. Probably number one health complaint that I've seen with our clients and customers and people over the past 30 plus years has been lack of energy. I don't have enough energy. I'm tired. I can't, I need coffee in the morning. I need something else to stimulate in the afternoon. And then, tired at the end of the day where we're having to get these stimulants. We're having to get these artificial substances and some people medication throughout the day. A plant-based diet will tend to provide your body with the energy, with the nutrients that it needs for the energy and stamina that it takes to sustain it over longer periods of time, and especially to perform at high levels as well. There have been movies and things on this as well. So if you want your body to perform at its peak and for long periods of time, plant-based diet would be the way to go. Now, next, and that ties right into fiber, okay, which is number 4. So we covered faith, fluids, food, and number 4 is fiber. Most people are not getting enough fiber in their diet. What is fiber? Fiber is technically indigestible carbohydrate. It's a part of food that we don't really digest. Its function is not for the absorption of nutrients. Its function is to scrub, to clean, to hold on to, and to move the things out of the body that we don't use for nutrients. So you got the part of the food that your body uses is nutrition, and you have the part that moves it, from being stored out of the body. It helps to facilitate elimination. And so if we want our blood sugar level to be regulated and proper, if we want um, the excess oils and fats and those things that would contribute to toxicity, to sluggishness, to dis-ease, to move out of our bodies, we have to increase the amount of fiber. We have to improve and make sure that we have the proper amounts of fiber in our diet. Now, to having a plant-based diet, having one that consists primarily of fresh fruits and vegetables and legumes and grains and foods that come from nature, okay, that would naturally contain fiber in its whole or complete form, primarily, are going to be foods that are going to tend to be what we call high fiber foods. And then that high fiber foods also gives us a feeling of satisfaction, or what they call satiety. And it expands in our bodies. It again helps to move, to hold on to those things we don't need, move it out of the body. And how much of that do we need? About 35 grams. About 35 grams of fiber daily will be adequate to curbing appetite and helping to move that food out of your body and into the toilet, back where it belongs, instead of having it stored. See what I'm saying? And so the next part speaks to number 5, which is flora. Flora. What is flora? Now today, in scientific literature and in so many things, we're hearing about our gut flora, or intestinal bacteria. That's vitally important. A reason why people ate fermented foods like sauerkraut and other foods that were fermented, or kimchi, other things like that, is because those things provided and replaced the gut flora and healthy gut flora for us, because we need that for proper digestion. We need that for the proper assimilation of food as well. So we either eat some fermented foods, or we supplement with some probiotics, prebiotics, pro and prebiotic combination formulas that work together to provide the proper environment for our body to be able to utilize what we eat is for energy, move things out so that it doesn't get stored as well, and improve elimination. When we have the proper gut flora, then we tend to have better breath, less body odor, and better digestion. Gas, bloating, protruding abdomen, intestinal distress, discomfort. There are a whole lot of diseases. In fact, probably the number one reason why people go to the doctor is because they have some kind of abdominal or digestive distress. Okay? Now, many of those things will be significantly reduced, if not eliminated, when we're getting the proper diet and we're getting the proper amounts of intestinal flora. And what we'll see, some of the evidence of this is we'll see lighter, longer, larger, and less odoriferous stools. Yeah, that means that your waste, when you go to the toilet, when you have a bowel elimination, it will not smell. It will not light up the restroom much, or the house. And that's important. Okay? I did a radio show, a radio broadcast some years ago. And one of the callers, or listeners called in and said, I wish, I was talking about what our elimination should be like. At Detroit Holistic Center, we've seen tens of thousands of people for something that we call colon hydrotherapy, helping to cleanse and improve the health of the colon in particular, the digestive system overall, but the colon in particular. And she said, I wish you'd tell people that again, because my brother, and he was young. I don't think it was 50. Uh, she said he used to have the most foul smelling stools, and and so many times people will just they'll joke about, they'll make a little joke or something about it. We'll see comedians saying, okay, yeah, you went to the toilet and don't go in there for 35-40 minutes or something like that. And we'll kind of joke about it, or say things like, you act like your stuff doesn't stink, but it should not have that strong odor. So what happened with this, the caller, she called in, she said, my brother, they had these foul smelling stools. He died of colon cancer. Okay. So how our body smells, how our breath smells, how our stool smells, reflects the health of our body. Okay. Fresh garbage doesn't stink. When you put garbage into the garbage can, at first, if it didn't stink already, if it didn't have a strong offensive odor already, it's okay. But the longer that it sits in there, and our body temperature is almost 100 degrees, when it's in a warm, moist environment and it sits in there and it breeds, this bacteria and toxins, and produces toxins, then we are getting poisoned inside of us. So, and there's an African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. So we have to make sure that we're dealing with and getting rid of the toxicity on the inside before we worry about all the other things that go on the outside of us. And that'll be promoted by, and that'll be assisted greatly by having healthy intestinal flora. Longer, lighter, larger, less odoriferous stools. Okay. Next, we get into number 6, which is fats. Fats. Now, there are healthy fats and there are unhealthy fats. Generally speaking, the healthy fats are going to come from our plants. Okay. And even that should be in moderation. And then our unhealthier fats will be saturated fats, and will come from animal products. Okay, so we need to watch our fats, make sure that we're getting healthy fats for the nervous system, for from our brain throughout our bodies, for our immune system and all, and avoid the unhealthy fats. Now, and again, if you're doing primarily a plant-based diet, that's going to help out a great deal. But in your meal, if you're frying it, if it's oily at the end, if you got thick grease and these things that are on the top of it, that's what's getting in your body. That's what's lining your digestive system, your veins, your arteries, that's what's clogging you up. That's what's causing our bodies to degenerate. That's what's causing our health to decline as well. So getting the healthy fats, avoiding the unhealthy fats helps our hormonal balance and helps us in many different ways. And then number 7 is flushing. Flushing. So I said, your body's going to do one of 3 things with anything goes inside of it. It's going to use it, store it, or eliminate it. So when we're putting things in our body that our body's going to utilize for healing, energy, and repair, if we're keeping things from being in storage too long, that means we're also helping to flush things through. Flushing things really means not necessarily to purge or necessarily always to do it aggressively, but to do it gradually enough so the body's able to keep up with the amount of elimination, or keep a balance between what the body needs to use and its need to eliminate. Okay. Most often, again, you either eating the standard American diet, we're not doing that. So the kidneys need to be flushed. We need to increase our water, especially if we're drinking the colas and the crystals and the coffee and other crap that the body really does not need, sometimes any at all, or as much of. We got to flush that with water. We got to move things out with fiber as well as herbs that will help to move things out through the digestive system on a consistent basis. Remember that fresh garbage doesn't stink, but if it sits in there long enough, it's not only going to, it's going to rot, it's going to putrefy, it's going to cause mold, it's going to cause bacteria, it's going to be a breeding ground for parasites, etc. So periodically, just as we maintain our cars, just as we get a flush or wash off the outside, we clean the seats in the inside, we flush out the radiator, we flush out the coolant system, we flush out the radiator, and the transmission and the oil. We need to flush out the systems of the body systematically. That means everything is not getting cleaned at one time. There is no magic pill, powder, potion, or procedure that cleans out everything all at one time. It's done gradually. It's done sometimes seasonally. It's done on a regular basis when we understand the foods, the herbs, and the processes that it takes to move these things out of the body so that we have healthy brain, blood, bowels, bladder, and breath. Okay, so that our lungs, our kidneys, our liver, our organs of elimination, our organs for filtering, are functioning the way that they need to function. If you want your car, if you want your vehicle, if you want your house to last a long time, to be in good order, then what we do is maintenance. It's maintenance, right? It's not major repairs. We don't want to have a major engine repair. We don't want to have we don't want our furnace to go. We don't want we want our houses, our temples. We want our cars to be maintained so that we don't have major setbacks, problems, or catastrophes that could lead to debility or death. Now, and so that's flushing. That was number 7. Number 8 is fitness. Now we need to move it. We need to move it. Okay. Historically, most people came from agrarian societies, places where we had the fresh fruits and vegetables. We were also moving, walking, and from place to place. A lot more activity than we presently do today. Today we have a very sedentary society. So if you have a sedentary job, then know that your body needs to burn. Okay. The way we're going to utilize, the way we're going to use the food and the fuel that we have and make sure it doesn't go into storage and it helps to get eliminated as well, is by moving our bodies. Okay. And so when we have fitness, at least 30 minutes a day, or approximately 30 minutes a day, and that would give you a couple to 3.5, 4 hours or so a week of vigorous exercise. And that's exercise that changes the way we breathe, exercise that causes us to burn fat, to burn calories, to perspire. Then our body is getting the work that it needs, the workout that it needs. It's going to be, our elimination is going to increase. Okay. So fitness is vital. And then forgiveness. Yeah. That's a weight loss tip. Number 9. Okay. And a very important one, because sometimes it's not just what we're eating, it's what we're holding on to. It's not just what you're eating, it's what's eating you. So if we don't have forgiveness in us, if we have anger and resentment, sometimes I see people even, supposedly exercising, they're on the phone, they're walking on the track, or they're doing something, and they're angry and they're yelling and they're, you could tell from the conversation that it's not pleasant. No, that's not how we should go into to our exercise. And we want to practice being easy to be with and letting things go. and letting little things stay little things instead of that eating away at us. Because sometimes the weight is also holding on to stuff, holding on to stuff, holding on to stuff, holding on to those emotions and things to just kind of, and it packs us on and it insulates us and it keeps us from interacting with other people. It becomes a barrier. Okay? So number 9 was forgiveness, and then we'll get us to number 10. And if we've done the other 9, then we'll be happy to get to number 10, and that is fun. That's fun. Okay? Now, throughout the process, ideally, every step is going to be fun. Make your faith walk fun. Make your drinking fluids fun. Make your having foods and preparing your foods and doing it with love fun. And getting your fiber fun, and flora, and everything that you're doing for yourself. Saying, you may do a lot for other people. Many times caregivers do things for a lot of people, and all of us will probably be our caregivers will be given care for, will be caregivers. Try to do it with a light heart, with a happy heart. Do it with fun. Find things to do, to exercise that are fun. Don't go out there, okay, I got to go to the gym. Best thing about going to the gym is leaving the gym because I'm glad this is over. No, do something that you enjoy doing. Maybe it's a sport that you want to do. Maybe it's tennis. For me, I love to run. Oh my goodness, I feel good. I'm not the same person unless I run. You can tell my attitude and disposition is different on days that I run from days that I don't. So my body craves that and enjoys it. But find out what's fun for you. Find out what's enjoyable for you. Is it dancing? Okay. Is it, because there are all types of things. I mean, we have more options and more opportunities to do things that are fun and that are good for us now than ever before. Is it, it could be skating. It's all so many things. Explore something different. Get out of your comfort zone. Okay. So reward yourself in between those goals as well. When you did the first 5 pounds and 10 pounds and 15 and 20, etc. Okay. So those are 10 tips, 10 steps that you can do that are natural, that are holistic, that are doable for anyone. I mean, even without a gym membership or spending a lot of money or going through a lot of changes. It's a way for you to prioritize you, to lose weight, to unburden yourself, and hopefully take yourself to a place that you may not have been at ever before, or not in a long time. Okay. So I wish that you would lose weight, that you would use it and lose it, and you would grow through the process. You get out of your comfort zone, and then you open yourself up to so many things that life has to offer, that only life can, because only if we're healthy, only if we're free from disease and feeling good and energized and happy with other people, and knowing how to take care of ourselves and our loved ones in our community, will we truly fulfill our purpose and be all that we can be. Okay. And this is Dr. Jesse Brown here with Detroit Holistic Center and Holistic Training Institute. You can reach us at DetroitHolisticCenter.com. That's Detroit Holistic. That's spelled with a W. DetroitHolisticCenter.com. I'm on Facebook and sometimes Instagram and those things as well. And perhaps there'll be a link on this video. But so glad to be able to share with you on this day. May you be well and healthy and grow in all that you do. That's my prayer today. And be blessed and safe. Take care.